Hello, and welcome back to the Ember Island Collector. Today we'll be going over Diamond Select Toys Avatar Last Airbender Series 1 Deluxe figurines. And so these figurines originally came out in 2019, 2020, early 2020. And so you could get these originally in a blister card. So they were not in a window box. You see the ones in the back over there because you see the Avatar Aang figurine. In the Avatar state, that one comes in a window box, but these are originally blister cards, so if you bought them, you couldn't really unbox them. I did not get them through the original means because I bought them off eBay, and so I had originally been looking for them because these came out, first of all, at Walgreens, and I don't know about you, but I don't really go to Walgreens to buy collectibles, so I thought it was very strange. But I remember when the news came out, because I think they came out, these dolls, not dolls, these figurines came out due to the 15th anniversary of Avatar Last Airbender. And so, what's really interesting about these figures is that they came out at Walgreens. I will probably mention Walgreens a lot because I don't understand the appeal of having these come out at a Walgreens. Like, no one I know collects toys from Walgreens. I've never seen a Walgreens exclusive. I've seen Walmart exclusive, Target exclusive, when Toys R Us was a thing, a Toys R Us exclusive. And you can find the Deluxe figures, I believe, in like certain like toy shops and comic shops, and you can find them on their website online. So today we're going to be reviewing these unboxed Diamond Select Deluxe action figures. And so as you can see, each one of them comes with a figure. It comes with a clear plastic stand. It comes with little connector pieces such as this one. So they have little joints here, like little ball joints that you can mix and match and create your own pieces. So if I wanted to, I could have done this and like created more pieces depending on what set I got. And if you get all three of them, you can do as many combinations as you want. And then they also came with like their elements. So Katara comes with water, Zuko comes with fire, and Aang comes with air. And as a bonus, Aang also came with Momo. And as another bonus, Aang and Katara both came with a set of hands. An extra set of hands. So Aang has these little extra set of hands. And then Katara came with these sets of hands. Ta-da! And so today we'll be going over each one of these figures, going over their articulation, things that I like about them, and we'll just see, like, are they worth your money? So let's get into it. We'll start off with Aang. So let's start off with Aang. So as we see, I told you before, you get Aang, you get the little element that he bends, so air, obviously. You could switch it out because Aang is the Avatar, so if you want to use Zuko's fireball or Katara's water, you can do that as well. And then we get a little Momo. I think Momo was the only one. He's only included in Aang. So if you want him, you kind of have to get Aang. And Momo is looking absolutely adorable here. I think his eyes kind of draw you. They're a little off, but I think Momo's eyes in the original series were a little off, if you get what I'm saying. And so one cool thing about Momo is that his tail comes off. So, it's very kind of annoying when you have to, like, he falls apart. But he's very, very cute, so we'll got a nice look at that. His paint is pretty good, actually. And there are some spots where it's kind of like missing a little bit of paint, but for the most part, he looks nice. His deco is very nice. His ears are nice, and you even get the striping of his ears, which is a detail that I wouldn't have thought they would have included. So yeah, like there are some nicks in the paint, and that could just be how how the paint was applied. But yeah, pretty cool, like him. But let's go back to our main character, which is Aang. So I'll put Momo over here, and I'm going to take Aang off his stand. So here we have Aang. And Aang, as you can see, he has a very, like, he's a little, his little crooked smile. He has big old eyes. His eyebrows are it's a very neutral expression. He's not really smiling. He's not really frowning. And then you got his big ears. And you got his little arrow. And so one thing I noticed about these figures is that they have all these articulation points, so you can see that you can really adjust them. So like you have Aang, like, doing a really cool action pose. If you know. That's also another thing is that, like, yes, you can articulate them, and you could, if you're really good at making action figures do really cool foot poses, you could do that. But it also is kind of like, I think his joints are probably a lot better now than when I first got him, because originally they were very stiff. And now, as you can see, as I've played with them, like his knees kind of move a little bit more. But it's nice that they're able to get like the folds of his pants in here. We get his Fire Nation shoes. And then we get him in his season 3 wear. And you can see that the top of the shirt isn't connected to the bottom of it. So he has mobility to like turn left and right for the most part. And so we got his hands. They move, as you can see. His arm with the sleeve just kind of doesn't have that mobility as like the other one, and that's mainly because like the sleeve's in the way because it's a very thick plastic. And then you have a hole in the back where these connector pieces should theoretically fit into. I've tried. They come in after like a lot of persuasion. Like you really have to push them in there, and I don't want to ruin the figure by forcing these in here. So I'm glad that they still have these little holes in the bottom of their feet where you can attach them to the connector plate. So overall, I think articulation-wise, it's nice to have all these modes of articulation, be able to move his arms and his hands, like, and his knees, but like the clothes themselves are just so stiff because they're very stiff plastic, so you can't really actually do too many poses with them. So then I'll try to stand up here. And they don't stand on their own, like they really much have to be stuck on their connector plates, which, oh, no, he does kind of stand on his own. Surprise! But let's go to the rest of this. So, right now we have like his air here, so it's like kind of shaped in this very funny, weird way, where it has like the two, like it's like a vortex, kind of like if you were blowing air out of his hands, kind of. To be honest, I don't really, like, I feel like the air one is kind of the worst one out of the 3 different elements that you get in the season 1, well, not season 1, but in the series 1 pack. So it's clear, it's like clear PVC plastic, most likely, and it's not too translucent. You can obviously like see like a little bit inside, but not too much. There's a little hole in the back where you can stick these connector pieces, where they do actually stick pretty well, and I think it's because this plastic is just a lot more figure-ing than whatever Aang's made out of. Aang might be made of ABS, I don't know. And so it's very bendy, you can move it, you can flex it, it's very nice. Obviously it just kind of snaps back into shape, so if you really wanted to, you probably could transform it using like a heat gun, but then you would kind of lose the integrity of it. So there's that. And then we have the stands. So the stands themselves are made out of like a clear plastic. There's a little peg here where the character can put their foot in, and there's a little hole here for where you can stick these connector joints and stick them in. Oh, there it goes. And so that's where you can put the thing. And then on the back it says 2019 Viacom Inc. And it was made in China. And so you can tell these were the original run through. Like these weren't the ones that were released in 2020. And so like, yeah, they're plastic. They make a nice sound. They do kind of scratch, but you can tell, like I've had them in like plastic bags to hold them. But they're nice. They kind of get the job done. It kind of sucks. I wish that they had 2 little foot stamps so that like we could position Aang so he wouldn't like position the character so they wouldn't just all be holding on for life like on one foot. Like it's very dependent. Like you gotta have to like have 2 feet on the platform itself. Oh look, and he can do a split. So there's Aang. Let me know if you guys like him because I think he's pretty cool. I like his expression, and that's another way. If you're buying these on eBay and you want to know if you have one that was originally released in 2019 versus 2020, Aang's expression is actually different in the 2020 re-release. So in the 2020 re-release, Aang has an angry expression on his face. His eyebrows are slanted downwards, and that's how you can tell the difference between the 2019 versus the 2020 release. Nice thing to know. So let's move on to our next figure. So let's go to our next character, and our next character is Zuko. So Zuko here, hi, also comes, like I said before, a figure. You get like little element, and you get the stand here, and like I said, some of them will come with extra pieces. I have a whole bunch of them, so I don't even know how many are supposed to come in each one. And so let's actually look at Zuko here. Now Zuko, I think, his hair is very obviously like season 3 Zuko, but his hair is kind of awful in this. Like it very much like, yeah, it covers his eyes a lot in season 3, but you just can't even like see anything. You can't really see his face. It's very difficult to see like his one eyebrow that he has. You can see a scar, and I do kind of like that. Like this eye looks a little smaller than this eye, which is nice because like that's a nice attention to detail. At the same time, like you get him in like this very hard plasticky like outfit, and so you can't take any of these off. Like some of them are molded into place, and some of them are like just slipped on in some cases, but then it has mold over it. But you can see that he has like even like the belt here, so I like that attention to detail. I do like how the outfit kind of looks because you get his pointy shoes again, like Aang's, and his feet are a lot bigger than Aang's, like that figurine set there. And he has very similar articulation with his hands, his hands, his arms, his knees have very similar articulation. The only thing with Zuko is that like because Aang's legs are kind of like free to move, you can't really move Zuko's legs any direction. You are kind of stuck like with this, and like you can't really get him to like, you could kind of get him to bend, but then you're kind of like pushing the fabric, like you're pushing not the fabric, the plastic around, and so that's kind of nice. I think it's a lot worse with Katara when we get to her. But one thing I just really can't get over, like his hair just kind of looks sad. Like in the TV show, obviously animation does not always translate well to toys, but in the animation his hair was floofy and beautiful and luscious locks. Like season 3 Zuko had great hair, and while I'm glad we don't have ponytail Zuko, though that is a possibility. Diamond Select Toys, if you're hearing this, if you want to make a season 1 Zuko, I wouldn't be opposed to it, just to see what he looked like as ponytailed Zuko. But his hair in this case looks pretty sad. Like there's like these weird little plastic pieces that kind of like give his hair more dimension. Not my favorite. It just kind of looks like it was like tacked on. Like it's very much like, it's just hair. It's just like, it looks more like a helmet. I'm gonna be realistic. It looks like a helmet, and it just covers his face, so you can't really see it. But I do like his scar. It looks pretty good there. The paint overall is done pretty well, so I can't really complain on that part because it's done. I like it a lot actually, and I won't complain at all. His feet move a lot more than Aang's do also, so like you're able to twist it all the way around. So that's a fun fact, in case you want Zuko to have his feet pointing in like a different direction. They don't really go back and forth though, so that's like the only thing. Like they don't flex like regular feet would, like back and forth. Okay, yes they do. It just takes some time to figure it out. And so you can have him on his tiptoes. So overall, like he's fine. He just kind of looks a little sad, and it's really just because you really can't see his face at all. And like with Aang, like you get this very nice, youthful expression with Aang, and then with Zuko, you get, well, if you can see his eyes, you can see his face, but like if you stand him up, like you can't see him. You can only see him if you like actually tilt him a little bit more up. So that's my only issue with Zuko. So we're gonna put Zuko down to the side over here, and he doesn't stand very well like on his own, so we're just gonna, oh, he does. Every time I say that, I feel like they learn how to stand, and it's always disappointment when I like say the wrong thing and then they actually do stand. What we have here is that we have like this cool clear like plastic piece, and like it's interesting to say the least, but I like the shape of it. I like how dynamic it looks and things like that. And there also is a hole right here, so you can stick it onto your stand piece as well. So you could stick it here, and boom, you would have a piece right there on the clear plastic stands. And you've already seen the stand, so I'm not going to go through it again. And so, I don't know, what are your thoughts on Zuko? Because, to be honest, he's the one that I really was excited to get. I mean, I was also really excited to get Katara and Aang, but I think I was also really excited to like have a Zuko figurine, and he just didn't really live up to the expectations that I wanted to. I do like that he has movement in his legs and his arms. It's really the hair. It's the hair. Like, everyone says, would Zuko's redemption arc be as good if his hair didn't have a redemption arc? And that's always a funny like thing to say, but really his hair was like a huge leading factor as a kid when I watched it. Like, oh my goodness, like look at Zuko now. Like you could tell like he's changed because he doesn't have a ridiculous ponytail anymore. So there's Zuko. Broody, angsty, emo prince. Let's move on to our next figure. So our next figure is Katara, and I really like how she looks. I think here's the thing about collecting Avatar merchandise. If you collect the original merchandise from the TV show when it first originally aired, which I didn't because I was 6, I think, when it first came out. And I was very much like that younger cat. I was definitely the category, like the age range for who it would apply to merchandise, because originally merchandising was done through Mattel, and their factor was like young children, so from 6 to 10, that kind of age range. But they also back then were very much segregated from either boys or girls toys, and we're luckily moving towards a belief that we don't need boys like toys labeled as boys and girls toys. A lot of times you'll see them either labeled as action or dress up toys now, or like dolls, like they're just named for what they are. A lot of boys toys still are labeled under action or adventure brands, so that's kind of how they circumvent the whole idea of doing boys versus girls toys. And so you couldn't really get Katara. Like, if you look on eBay, if you look for any old merchandise, because I've been starting this whole idea of getting old merchandise, you can't find. There were no female figure characters, and I'm so glad that we're going into this time where we are actually getting female figure characters. We have a Katara Funko Pop. We have so much Katara. Like, we have Katara Funko Pops, we have a Toph Funko Pop. I heard they're going to get Suki, hopefully, with Funko soon. And, like, even just, yeah, they're Pops, but, like, we're also getting a Toph Diamond Select figure, and that's also really exciting. We're getting a Katara gallery statuette diorama that I very much need to pre-order very soon so they don't sell out, because she looks magnificent, and you will see her on the channel this summer. So I'm really glad that Diamond Select was able, like, the first 3 characters they chose were Aang, Zuko, and Katara, because they essentially were, like, the 3 most popular characters back when the TV show first really came out. And it's really nice to see Katara get her own action figure and to look very good while doing it. So we have Katara, and she's the only one here in her season 1, where Zuko and Aang are in season 3. And so we'll take her off her stand, but you can see that she comes with water, and she has her little water skin on here, so that's her accessory. Like, she has a water skin accessory, and that's nice. And you can also take it on and off, which is quite nice. Like, you slip it, if you put her arms down, if you can move her arms, you could slip it down and out, but I'm not going to do that because it's difficult to put it back on. I had to put it back on. It's a pain. So let's look at Katara here. So we got Katara, we have her hair loopies, which are like molded fantastically. Like, I complain so much about Zuko because his hair just looks so boring. It looks like a helmet. And then we have Katara, and she's really out here rocking her hair loopies, first of all. And then we also have them going back into her braid, and even like this little like circular part of her hair, which I don't know how it's called, and I have to look that up. And we have her braid, which is like very nicely, like the details there is nice. We even have like her little hair tie, which is blue, which is crazy because you kind of get that detail. It does kind of bleed into her, like the end of her ponytail a little bit, but like honestly, it's gonna happen with that small like attention to detail. And then you also have her necklace painted on here. You do like the actual part of the pendant part of her necklace is like a little bit raised, but it's all just molded on. And then we have her water skin, which is very much like in like how it looks in the TV show, especially in the first and second season. And then we have her with her blue, like her arms are here. We have her sleeves, her sleeves, the under layers, and then we have like the inside layers, which is a really great attention to detail, I think, because that's happens in the TV show. And like, as you can see, her arms move, like her hands move, her arms move. Very nice for a warbender. Her arms move like this, so like very nice. You can put them up and around. I think because she has so much movement in her arms, it makes up for the lack of mobility in her legs. So she has like which is very common like right now that we see, is that they have these like very hard plasticky like clothes, and so like movement is like a lot different. And you can see here, because Qatar doesn't wear it, like her pants are kind of just like close to the skin, because that's how they are in the TV show. Like, they're not baggy like Zuko's or Aang's, that you can see her knee joints a lot better. And if you could bend, like, you can bend her knee and you can like pull it out and like do that. But you can't really do it while she's like wearing the clothes, so, like not without like pushing the plastics like around. So that's always kind of a bummer. Like the plastics are made to move and they'll snap back. And that's just, you know, basic plasticity feelings there. But you also get to, but it's just kind of a bummer that you can't really move her as much. Like you can't really pose her legs as much, other than like you can like pose her like this, or like if you take one of her legs out and you can like kind of pose her more like that. But like it's just kind of sad. Kind of sucks, but understandable because of the plastic. I really love Qatar. Like I think she is my favorite out of the three of them. You even get her eyes. Like look at her eyes. Like you get the little highlight in her eyes, and I think that's great. You get like the big eyes, and her expression kind of has like that little like playful smirk to it. And then another thing that's really great is that you get to see that she has like the little like fur on her boots, like in the TV show, and her feet move just like Aang and Zuko's does. And so overall, I really enjoy Qatar. I think she's probably the best. Like Aang is great, he's fine. Zuko, you know my opinions, but Katara, man, like she actually looks so good, and her accessory makes sense. Like so does Aang's, but I like how she has the water skin. Like I like because it's like really integral to her character. So we'll put Qatar there and see this time she didn't fall. And we're gonna focus on actually her water piece, which I think is really interesting because like it's kind of like an arc. It has the same thing in the back where it's like, oh, there's a little hole in the back where you could connect it to the stand. But one thing that's really interesting about this is that they have little handprints molded. So I'm thinking, yeah, you can see it right here. It's like molded into there. So you could technically place her hands in there. And here, I'll take her hand, her extra hand that comes in. And just because they're molded doesn't mean they like actually fit. So like you can't really like they'll you can rest them on there, which is really nice, but they don't hold them into place. So when you're like putting them, I guess the best way if you want to like model this with Katara and you want her hands on the actual water, you would have to rubber band them in, then take the rubber bands out in editing, like use clear like translucent rubber bands and do that. So overall, like she's also like it's this nice blue plastic. It's translucent plastic. I think hers is really cool. Though if I'm gonna rank them all, like all their like elements, like Zuko's is still my favorite. I think it like just looks the coolest. But overall, we get like these cool figure, and we get her water. And so, as you can tell, I personally very much enjoy Qatar the most. So let's go through one final look then of all three of them. So we have Katara, and then we have Katara here, looking cool, looking great. We have Zuko here, I'm not going to say more on that, and we have Aang looking very cute and everything. I'm just really upset with how Zuko looks. I think he could just look so much better. So let me know down in the comments below which one of these three are your favorite, or if you own them. Or if you have any more fun stories like I did about how you got them, because we're going to bring this up one more last time. Why are these a Walgreens exclusive? I don't understand who goes to Walgreens to collect toys. Like I go to Walgreens because they have a photo center there still, and I can print out photos from film there, and that's the only reason I go to a Walgreens. So let me know down in the comments what exactly you thought about this, if I should do any more of these videos, because I will be doing more of these videos. Because I will be reviewing the Series 2 version with Season 1 Aang and Azula. And then when Series 3 comes out with Toph and Ozai, I'll be doing that too, a review of that as well. If I can get my hands on them, hopefully. Cross my fingers. But yeah, let me know what you liked about this video, what you liked about these figures, if you own any of these figures, and things that you would like Diamond Select to do, because maybe they'll listen. So yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, Flameo Hotman.